Alright, guys. Florida's crazy. It'll probably be rocking tonight for this one. It's going to be a big-time game, but obviously we got the Bucs creaming out for this thing. It's a big-time playoff atmosphere for them. For the Falcons, maybe not so much, but we saw a crazy one between these two teams on Thursday night last year, so hopefully get some of the same. Only 3 more Thursday night games, including this one. Pretty crazy. Also, bowl predictions. Let's get this thing going. With that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe. I hope you guys do enjoy this game, as we do have a NFC South battle between two teams that have not had the season they would have liked to coming into this one. Again, we look at this Bucs team. They're still, again, very well in the playoff races. They do come into Week 15 leading the NFC South with their divisional record, I think. Them and the Panthers are knotted up at the top. Panthers will be playing the Saints this week on the road. Again, we obviously know the Falcons will be heading here for this one. On top of that, the Bucs and Panthers will be scoring off in Charlotte next week. Again, a place where the Panthers are definitely stunned some teams this season, which we'll definitely talk about more on Sunday. But again, that is definitely something for next week. For the Bucs, though, coming into this game, they're again coming off one of their worst games this season, as their offense has continually struggled after that 5-1 start. Again, we look at them last week; they lost to their division rival Saints 24-20. That was a 2-10 Saints team. Is on top of that. And again, for the Bucs, that was definitely a tough loss for them, as they were coming off a bounce-back win against the Cardinals. Again, this team is definitely not one that has been the most consistent either. They've had some really bad losses, over the past couple months. Again, you look at that Rams game, they got absolutely destroyed in that one. And they don't really have many head-to-heads either, considering some of the loss they have, again, in Detroit to the Lions. Also to the they did beat the Seahawks. Again, they do have that. But if you're a Bucs fan right now, not looking too hot for you. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they're 4-9. They've lost 7 of the last 8 games. They're really tanking right now, and I'm loving it. Again, if you don't know, I am a Rams fan. The Rams do have the Falcons' first-round pick, so I'm all for them losing these games. Last week wasn't really much better, as they, after, again, keeping it close with definitely a really big-time pass rush from that defense in the first half, they ended up losing 37-9 to the Seahawks in a game where they didn't get in the end zone. As Kirk Cousins, the guy they paid $180 million just 2 offseasons ago, was pretty terrible. And, they didn't look really well, like they wanted to be out there. Only guy really making plays as a catch catcher was Kyle Pitts. The running game was just kind of taken out of it. And, again, you look at how that defense kind of looked in the second half, too. They looked a little bit burnt out. This is a Falcons team that has now gone on 8 straight losing seasons. This is going to be one that, again, most of the finishes 8-9. They're technically still, no, they're eliminated. Jesus, guys. That's really bad. But, this is basically a game they're playing for pride here in this one. They did beat the Bucs, though, last year at home. That was the last game Kirk Cousins really looked like Kirk Cousins. He threw for over 400 yards. I think he did set the Thursday Night Football record or something like... No, 500 yards. Set a Thursday Night Football record, and a crazy one as the Falcons knocked out the Bucs 36-30 in OT. And at the time, that was a battle for first place in the division. This one, though, will not be that. This game will be at 8:15 on Amazon Prime. Other than that, though, we all know what this game is really going to turn to be. Again, you see the weather for this game. It's going to be 56 degrees, clear skies as well. Also, you can see that Kaylee Hartung will be reporting this game with Kirk Herbstreit as their analyst. And, again, you have Al Michaels as well. I think they'll probably have some other alternate casts as well. But before we get into these lineups, I wanted to say we do have the bowl predictions as well as my reaction to the college football playoff. Again, you could definitely think that I've already seen it, but I'll give you guys all my bowl game predictions that are not the playoff. Those playoff predictions will be next week for that Rams and Seahawks Thursday nighter. Again, I'll get you guys that as soon as possible. Now for this game, Falcons. You guys can see Drake London will not be playing in this game. Dylan Drummond will definitely bump up there. Donald Mooney and David Sills are already there. Bijan, Tyler Alligator in the backfield. You can see Kirk Cousins is at quarterback. Jake Matthews, Matthew Bergeron, Ryan Uziel, Chris Lindstrom, Elijah Wilkinson are across the offensive line. Defensively, you can see that David Onyemata and Brandon Dorlus are both questionable. Sal, London, and Leonard Floyd are off the edge. Devine Diablo, Caden Ellis, again, Jalen Walker's questionable, so James Pierce also there. For the secondary, though, they're basically healthy. Nothing too much to talk about with them. Zane Gonzalez, Bradley Pinion are also their kicker and punter. Moving over to the Bucs. For their offense, Mike Evans is questionable. I'm actually insane. That's actually not possible. But he remains questionable. I don't think they'll play him, right? Again, it's a short week. That'll be a little aggressive. You need him in Carolina next week. Keaton's doubtful. Payne Durham would play if he can't go. Jalen McMillan, who's been out the entire season, is questionable. Tez Johnson does not really look great the past couple weeks either. Amika Buka, Chris Godwin, really the only guys you can look at as, again, reliable options. Offensive line has really been cooked this entire season as they have, again, a tackle. Luke Gedicke's back, which is huge, but they definitely haven't had the greatest of luck there. The interior of the offensive line is definitely another issue as Graham Barnes had kind of a sophomore slump. What do we have going on here? We're a little bit cooked here. Seversio Dennis is out at linebacker, so that means maybe they throw Deion Jones in there. Levante Davis had a little bit of a down year. Again, he is 40 or something like that. He's like 36, right? Yeah, 35. Jeez, he's ancient. But other than that, again, you can see the D-line's healthy. Edge rushers have been pretty good. Tyke Smith, doubtful, so Kavion Merriweather will start. Again, you got a guy like Antoine Winfield Jr. and the rest of the secondary that are healthy. Also, Benjamin Morrison, the rookie corner, is back. Chase McLaughlin's the kicker. Riley Dixon's also the punter. For this game, guys, if you haven't already figured out, week 14 was the last week with byes, so there will be no teams on a bye this week. So, well, a full 16-game slate for the rest of the season, last 4 weeks. Also, guys, I think it's crazy to mention this, but way back in 2019, or even 2020, that was the last year week of Thursday Night Football. Now we've moved it all the way up to week 17. I think that was just, again, pretty cool how the schedule's changed there. But now we move over to, again, how good I think this game is going to be. I'm going to put it in decent. I see, again, because this is a divisional battle, like a lot of Thursday night games have been this year, I think it's going to be pretty competitive. I don't see the Bucs, at least defensively, completely faltering, but I definitely can see this game turning into one where there isn't as much scoring as you might like, but at the same time, I see it being competitive and coming down to the wire, so I'm going to say that this game is going to be decent. For who actually wins it, I'm going to go with the favored Bucs. Again, this is definitely a team that has not had the greatest of seasons, and if they didn't have such a forgiving schedule in some parts of this, this year, obviously, they've handled their schedule somewhat well, considering it's not the easiest, but still, I think because their schedule being somewhat forgiving, I think this is a game that they will not, again, lose because of that. We're going to say they win this one 27-21, and I expect this Bucs offense to have a little bit of a better or more complete performance than what we've seen recently. But again, by no means I see them wiping the Falcons, because they haven't really wiped anyone in a little bit now. But anyway, I'll see y'all in a little, again, on Saturday for the predictions. Again, for all of the Sunday games. Again, I think we have 14 this Sunday. And then I'll get you guys a recap of this. But anyway, let's get to those bowl games and my playoff reaction. I wasn't expecting to react to this, but again, according to Adam Schefter, Michigan's fired their head coach, Sharon Moore. If you don't know, Sharon Moore has been the Michigan coach now. This is his second season. I have no idea why they fired him, but they fired him. Yeah. I mean, I understand they haven't had the greatest season, but like considering they went 7-6 last year, only thing I can think of is because they didn't show up offensively, and Bryce Underwood was atrocious in the the game against Ohio State. But like other than that, like, I mean, like, okay, Jesus, is there a reason? What? Is there a reason? There's no reason. Is it like some scandal? I mean, like, that's just, I mean, again, I understand they lost the game, but still, like, that's a little egregious, or when you say that. All right, we'll move into the college football playoff. We'll get to our Bowl Mania picks as well. Also, if I haven't told you guys before, I will not be picking my college football playoff bracket. So, again, there's going to be, like, games in here, like the first round games. I'm not going to be doing those. That'll be done on next Thursday. When you guys see that, again, right before the playoff starts on Friday with the Oklahoma and Alabama game. So these picks, I'll put them back in like the Bowl Mania bracket. Again, the Capital One Bowl Mania thing when we get back there on Friday. But I obviously won't be picking those games right now. But anyway, our college football playoff bracket. Again, if you haven't already seen it, it's kind of geek, to be honest with you guys. Again, if you didn't already know, North Texas did lose the American Championship to Tulane, so North Texas got knocked out, but they obviously had a great season. James Madison got the 12th seed because they did win the Sun Belt, as most people expected. Iowa, I guess they're 23rd in the rankings. I don't really, again, 4-loss team is kind of ridiculous. Georgia Tech should not be in the top 25. Houston, I mean, they had a pretty solid season in the Big 12. They were a decent team all year. I'll give them something there. Tulane got the 11th seed because I already talked about that they won the American. They have Jake Retzlaff. We'll talk about their, again, first round matchup next week. Again, really, like, quick preview. Again, people have been talking about it for, like, what is it now? 4 days since the playoff release, so again, again, we'll get to preview that when we need to. But Virginia, they lost the ACC championship to a 5-loss Duke team. That is insane. The ACC is a poverty freaking conference. I understand they did still get a team in the playoff, but yeah, they blew their chance of the playoff there. Michigan, yeah, they don't have a head coach. They're gonna be playing in a bowl. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But again, they lost the game. They didn't play, and they didn't make the Big Ten championship. So yeah, Arizona, they beat Arizona State, right? They had a good season. I mean, like, Noah Fifita was pretty good. USC, if they didn't lose to Oregon a couple weeks ago, they would have made the playoff. Utah, again, tough season for them. They just didn't really have they didn't have the big time wins. But again, solid season at the end of the day. Vandy, yeah, they shouldn't have gotten the playoff. They lost by 16 to Bama. I mean, if they would have beat them, that would have been different. But they didn't win that game. Texas, again, get out of here. These two teams, again, if you're lobbying to get in the playoff, I don't know what the hell you're doing. BYU didn't get in because they got destroyed by Texas Tech twice. I think, again, that was definitely a little bit, again, I think they definitely deserve to be in the playoff, but when you lose to both Texas Tech, I understand Texas Tech is probably one of the top 2 or 3 best teams in the country, but, like, you got to make it more competitive than that. If they lost in, like, OT, I'm like, put that team in the playoff, but, like, with the teams they have won against this season, it's not like, again, I'm not, like, too mad they missed it, but at the same time, like, yeah, they probably deserved it over this team. Notre Dame, yeah, again, very reasonable for them to be frustrated, but at the same time, join a goddamn conference, stop being so soft, and beat the teams you're supposed to beat. If you beat Miami by 30 points, you would be in the playoff without a doubt. Cool, you won your last 10 games, you won your last 11 games last year. Kind of tells you where they're at. Be A&M, win one of those games, and you're in the freaking playoff. It's that simple, Notre Dame. You just don't lose those games. Miami, should they be in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Honestly, I would have, Jesus, what a stutter. Flip Notre Dame in them, that's probably what it should be. I still think Miami's the more talented team, though. I think that they'll make a better playoff. To be honest with you guys, this is by far the best team in the ACC. They deserve to be that team in there. Obviously, they have had some really bad losses. That SMU and Louisville losses are both inexcusable. But at the same time, they beat Notre Dame. And again, with both how these teams are sitting, that's where they should be. But if you're Notre Dame, you guys are a bunch of store losers for not playing in a bowl game. Like, again, that's just straight up pathetic. Again, you guys, did you deserve to get in the playoff? For sure. But at the same time, you lost to Miami in that game. Beat them next time. And Miami's the better team. All right, number 9, Oklahoma. Not Oklahoma, Bama. Have they looked trash the past, like, month? Yes, but honestly, they have Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in the country. I understand he played awful against Georgia last week, and they looked checked out, but we'll see what happens when they play Oklahoma, to be honest with you guys. Oklahoma's the 8 seed. That nothing really changed there. They beat Bama. That's why they have the home game. A&M lost to Texas a couple weeks ago. We already talked about that, but they got the 7 seed in the playoff. They'll be playing Miami. You have Ole Miss, the 6 seed. Again, who knows what the hell is going on with again, Lane Kiffin there. Again, he's gone. But this is still a team that, again, should be fine. We'll see what happens with them. Again, they should very well make it to the quarterfinal. Oregon gets the 5 seed. They have basically a first-round bye against JMU. But, yeah, they've had a pretty strong season. Their lone loss was by double digits to Indiana. Texas Tech has been the most dominant team in college football this season. Have they really played many great teams? Not really, but they've beaten teams that have been ahead of them. Only loss was with their third-string quarterback to Arizona State, and that was at Arizona State, too. Georgia, definitely strongest team in the SEC this year. They, again, absolutely booty slapped Bama on the SEC championship. They definitely deserve this 3 seed in the Sugar Bowl berth there. Ohio State has the 2 seed. They again dropped one spot because they lost to Indiana. Again, if it wasn't for their kicker, they probably would have won that game. These are obviously the 2 best teams in the country right now in terms of prestige and just overall right now. Realistically, I still think that Texas Tech is better than Indiana. Again, we'll see if they actually play though. But other than that, guys, that's really all we got on the college football playoff. Again, you can moan all you want Notre Dame, but it's not going to really change anything. Just go in the offseason and become a better damn team. But as you guys can see, though, that's your bracket. I'll talk way more about this next week with my predictions. But anyway, for our Capital One Bowl Mania Picks, this is by far the most predictions I've ever done in a video. I'm doing the confidence thing. We will not be getting into all the logistics of that. I'll do that, again, sometime off camera here. But again, I will be picking these games for y'all. If you want me to do against the spread, I'm not a gambling addict. I mean, that's just not true. Yeah, but I'm not gonna be doing any of that against the spread stuff. Again, you can definitely go see some other people be in a bag. We're not gonna pick in those. Anyway, though, first game of the FCS Cricket Celebration Bowl. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't know what the hell this is, but I don't know why is it like this. Oh, can we change this? I want to see the bowl games, cause like, do we have like actual bowl names for this? Maybe I should change this. I can do this off. How about we do? We're going to do this. Is that better? That is better. You know what? Screw it. We're not doing the confidence for this because that's like a lot of work. So don't worry about the confidence. We'll do that. We'll keep that for, again, the weekly picks. For these game day, last year also I forgot to mention, before the Hawaii Bowl, I got every single bowl game right. So I'm just saying, I mean, I'm pretty good at this. Again, that was all luck. I had some crazy picks go down. And I think that Hawaii Bowl, like, it was like a double O team, the team that lost. It was crazy. But I do not expect to go that far. Cricket Celebration Bowl, FCS is, here what we got here. South Carolina State, if I'm not mistaken, no, they're not from the SWAC. Prairie View's from the SWAC. They won the SWAC last weekend in a pretty crazy fashion as they got this berth to the Cricket Celebration Bowl. I'm going to be honest, I don't give a crap who wins this game. I'm going to pick South Carolina State because they are favored. Yes, is that the reason I'm picking them? Oh, yeah, cool. No, yeah, it is actually. But you know what? We're going to go with that. Boise State versus Washington. Boise State won the Mountain West for the second or third straight, something like that straight year. Washington had a good season. They're the better team. I'll give them the nod with that one. They're from the Big Ten. I do favor conference in this a lot. But anyway, next game up, we have Troy and Jacksonville State. Troy, they don't have a quarterback. Jacksonville State has the best running back in the country in terms of yardage, I guess. I'm going to go with them, even though they did not show up at all in the, what was it, the freaking Conference USA Championship. Old Dominion, South Florida, this game's going to be an absolute rout. South Florida blows out a lot of teams that are worse than them, and Old Dominion is definitely worse than them, despite them having, again, one of their better seasons in school history. We have Louisiana. Oh, I haven't talked about these bowl names. I got to roast some of these. Bucked Up LA Bowl. This isn't that bad. Again, it's actually on this Saturday. That's pretty crazy. But if you guys didn't know, Gronk will be doing this one. Salute to Veterans Bowl. I didn't know this existed, but I mean, yeah, do whatever you can to honor veterans, I guess. Cure Bowl. This is probably one of the most irrelevant bowls I've ever heard of. The Ventures Bowl. This one's been around for a while. We got Delaware versus Louisiana here. Louisiana is definitely the better team, but I'm gonna pick the Delaware because they beat UConn, and I'm still pissed about it. And I'm like, if they win a bowl game, at least we have that. Say they're not too bad. But anyway, Ventures Bowl. Yeah. Next up, we have the Myrtle Beach Bowl. This one is going to be hella early on Friday. I mean, again, I don't know who's going to be next Friday. I don't really know who's going to be watching this, but I mean, maybe someone does. Western Michigan is probably the better team here, but I'm going to go with Kennesaw State because I like what they're doing right now. They won the Conference USA after a year of going like 2-10 in their first year, so again, good for them there. Western Michigan's from the MAC. I don't really care about many MAC teams, so we'll give them the nod here. Next up, we have the Gasparilla Bowl. This is going to be, again, the game after that on Friday. Again, this is basically 50-50. I'm going to pick NC State because they do have a defense that is able to make plays. I don't think Memphis has really been good at all in the past really month and a half. So why would I pick them to, again, anything to change there? And I think there's a bunch of things going on with them as well. We're going to skip these three. Or actually these four. My bad. Now we move on to Monday. The 22nd, we have an irrelevant... no, this isn't irrelevant. This is the Boise... this is a Boise State here for the Potato Bowl. I'm going to go with Washington State. They're a decent team. They had a pretty tough schedule this season. They looked pretty solid. Utah State, not the greatest team in the world. All right, Boca Raton Bowl. Give me Louisville by 100. If you didn't know, UConn took Jason Cano from Toledo, their a longtime head coach, if I'm not mistaken. Toledo's in the MAC. They have a good defense, but I think Louisville, even though they're obviously going to be missing some guys, are just going to be chilling in this win. Now the New Orleans Bowl. This is I think also on Tuesday. No, this is on Tuesday. Here we go. Southern Miss is going to upset Western Kentucky. I understand they lost their head coach and like a crap ton of players, but they're going to figure out a way to win this one after a 1-11 season last year. Frisco Bowl. I honestly don't give a crap who wins this game. I'm going to say Ohio does, though, because I don't know. UNLV is obviously the better team, but they look so bad. And honestly, if I'm the UNLV player, I would not be playing in this game. We have the Hawaii Bowl. Now, this is on Christmas Eve. This is the one I got wrong last year. I'm picking Hawaii. I just fear they're going to... Because, again, Hawaii... they don't really get in a bowl game too often. Again, I'll give them the nod here. Again, Kyle's definitely the better team, but I hope this game doesn't come down to the wire like last year, though. We'll see about that, though. This is probably one of the more lopsided bowl games of the calendar. Again, we got the Game Above Sports Bowl. It's probably the most irrelevant bowl you guys can think of because it is at Detroit. There's no one who goes to this game. It's just not the greatest bowl, to be honest with you guys. It used to be called the Quick Lane Bowl, too. I don't really like this bowl at all. But anyway, Central Michigan, they shouldn't be here. Northwestern's a Big Ten team. They had not a great year, but again, way better than they've had in the past, so I'm going to give Northwestern this one. Now we move to probably one of the better bowl games. We have the Rate Bowl. Again, we got Rate Field for the White Sox. This game, I will say, is a lot better than that, though. As New Mexico has been one of the more sneaky teams this year out of the group of 5. Minnesota was pretty decent this year in the Big Ten, all things said. But at the same time, I'm going to go with them in this game. Again, I love New Mexico and what they're doing right now, but I think Minnesota's going to run the ball well enough, and they're not going to turn over the ball for sure. So I don't really see how New Mexico's really going to be able to control this game, which is what they do in their wins. First Responder Bowl. This game is the 8 o'clock game on the day after what is called Christmas. This game is going to be rough, to be honest with you guys. I'm going to say UTSA just completely routes FIU in this one. I don't think UTSA is going to be very interested, but they're still going to do it because they're a way better team than FIU, who has honestly had a great season. Again, good for them, but I don't really see this season wrapping up the way they want it to. All right, Military Bowl on this Saturday. Again, it's going to be at 11 a.m., hella early here. Again, both these teams aren't where they want to be. Air Carolina's kind of lost some of my trust with how they performed in the past couple weeks. Pitt obviously has had a really rough month, but I think Heinz Shell's still going to play in this game, so I'll give them the nod. Maybe not. He goes to the transfer portal. We'll see about that. No one thought this was going to be the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. That's at Yankee Stadium. They're going to be playing on a freaking baseball field at the start of the season. This game will be at noon on ABC on the 27th. Penn State obviously has had a very good last month, considering they shouldn't even be in a bowl game, considering how their season's gone. Obviously, Drew Howard again was out for the season after week 5. And you obviously had James Franklin get fired. Clemson, they're just a mid team. They're going to lose all their defensive linemen to the draft. Again, they're definitely not going to play in this one. Kate Klubnik's had a really rough year overall. I'm going to say Penn State wins this game, though. They're a very talented team. They're not going to be losing as many guys, and I still think that this offense can still put up some points when they need to. So give me them the nod in this one. All right, UConn versus Army. Army still has another game to play, so I'm not going to go too crazy on that. This Saturday they're playing the What bowl? Not the bowl. The freaking Army Navy game. That's my bad there. But I'm saying UConn wins this game. They have a much better offense. Yeah. Again, they always definitely be able to run the ball for sure on this UConn defense. But again, it's definitely gonna be, I think, a lower scoring game. But give me UConn in this one to win this Wasabi Fenway Bowl for the second straight year and win, get the double-digit wins for the first time in their program's history. Georgia Tech versus BYU. Again, it should have been Notre Dame. I'll say that. This is the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's basically the bona fide. You guys remember when FSU and Georgia played in that Orange Bowl back in 2022. That's basically what this game's turned into. Georgia Tech, though, Haynes King will be playing. I think BYU is going to try really hard. I'm going to say they win this game. I like their defense against this Georgia Tech offense. Matches up well. I'll give them the nod in that one. Miami versus Fresno State. Again, I was insane. Miami even gotten the MAC is that bad. It's worse. Again, so much worse than the ACC, obviously. But again, it's just so bad they got in the championship. Give me Fresno State because, yeah, we'll go with them there. All right, next up we have the New Mexico Bowl. This is also on Saturday. Oh, Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. That's awesome. That's what that one is. North Texas, 25th in the country, is going against San Diego State. This game will probably be somewhat close, if I had to guess. Anyway, though, I'm going to go with North Texas to win this game. Offense, Drew Messmaker, all that. Virginia versus Missouri. Yeah, Missouri's going to win this game. Virginia, I mean, you got to be so deflated after that game. They're still ranked at least. Again, Missouri has lost too many games to teams that are better than them. That's why they're not ranked. But again, they've had a pretty strong season overall. Next game on Saturday. There's a crap ton of games on this Saturday. We have LSU versus Houston. Give me LSU to win this game. I mean, again, a lot of guys will be transferring and stuff, but they're definitely a better team than Houston in terms of talent. Georgia Tech, Southern versus App State in the Birmingham Bowl. I mean, this is the Texas Bowl. This is not a good game. I mean, again, like, oh yeah, this was the game that like 10 teams went through that again declined getting into. Georgia Southern's a better team though. Again, App State again, they're happy they're in the playoff, not in the playoff, in the bowl game. But I'm gonna say Georgia Southern wins this one. Hell no. Give me Louisiana Tech. Coastal going 6-6 this season speaks to how terrible the Sun Belt is, guys. Like, that's actually insane. Louisiana Tech, they haven't really been good either, but I mean, they can run the ball. They have a pretty mobile quarterback. I'll give them, again, they're not in the Independence Bowl. Music City Bowl is usually a decent game. Honestly, I could care less who wins this one. Again, you got Luke Altmaier versus Joey Aguilar in their last college games. I'm going to say Joey Aguilar gets the win in this one. We still have freaking 20 more games to pick. Jesus. There's so many bowls, guys. All right, USC versus TCU. I'll pick this up. USC wins. They're a better team. Iowa versus Vandy. Vandy, because they're going to be having all their guys play. Arizona State versus Duke. They look so bad. Duke, they're going to actually be playing their guys, too. They're getting the ACC champs. Don't forget that. Michigan fired their head coach. Give me Texas off of that. Nebraska versus Utah. That's going to be a really bad game in the Las Vegas Bowl. This is also the Citrus Bowl, which again usually bigger games are played in. And you also have the Tony Tiger Sun Bowl. All right, forget all this in that. And okay, now we go back to bowls. This game's going to be on the day after New Year's because again New Year's is the CFP quarterfinals. But well, again more on that when we again do the bracket next week. But we have Texas State versus Rice. Give me Rice. Screw this game again. If I somehow get a perfect bracket up to this point, I mean, go ahead and go with this one, I guess. Navy versus Cincinnati. I don't know if Navy will be as checked in as I think because they still have a game to play. So Cincinnati, because they're not a terrible team, guys. They obviously had the greatest last month of the season, but again, they're a solid team from the Big 12. Wake Forest versus Mississippi State. Wake Forest. Yeah, I'm going to pick them. Arizona versus SMU. SMU is going to bounce back. I actually like them in that game. And then the last three are all college football stuff we'll talk about later, but that is what I have here. SMU to beat Arizona. I hope you guys enjoyed these bowl predictions. Again, my reaction to college football playoff. We just saw Sharon Moore get fired, so I mean, again, crazy things happen, I guess. But I'll see y'all for the playoff bracket predictions next week. I'll probably I'm not going to be doing that. That's actually kind of cooked. But anyway, I'll be giving you guys my bracket predictions for the college football playoff next week. Again, Bowl Mania is always one of the best parts of the year. I hope you guys enjoy Bowl Mania because, again, there are some pretty decent bowl games this year. But the Holiday Bowl is the last one that's going to cap it off. It'll be kind of sad when that happens. But anyway, enjoy your Bowl Mania, guys, over the next week. But I'll see y'all for, again, the recap of the Thursday night or tomorrow. Then, obviously, the predictions for Saturday. But, again, Bowl Mania is going on. It's a good time.
Mooney moving. That's fired. That's caught.